Confined with 20 concubines.
Yeah, that is how the current king of Thailand has spent the confinement. In a mansion. In Germany, with 20 concubines. And I know what some of you will say. How do you know that all 20 of these women were concubines?
They're not shy about it, because they're not shy about it. So, guys, he didn't tell us if those car jobs went to Vietnam. But my guess is Vietnam. If anybody knows, let me know. I guess it would be Vietnam. Yes, a bad country for a diabetic person. Did you eat scorpion? Yes, that's where I had it. That's where I had my scorpion.
What if they were just his servants, or even his friends? Well,
nope. The concubines are just outright concubines. They don't. There's no shying. They say it. It's not like a secret. Like, oh, these are the maids, but we know what happens behind the background, and he sleeps with his maids. Like, no, they're officially my concubines.
The truth is that King Vajiralongkorn has had a long and well-known relationship with the concubines.
Thai Playboy King anoints lover as his official concubine.
So these are like my I have unofficial concubines. This is like a government title. In Thailand, being a concubine, like, it's an official government position. Like, you're officially my concubine.
The Times.
Other kings would say that.
Katie's saying Thailand isn't very sexually repressive, right? No, not at all. I mean, depends on what you mean by sexually repressive. I guess in some ways, yes, very extremely. Okay, so when it comes to sex being seen as taboo, then no, Thailand is not regressive at all. Repressive. But when it comes to women empowerment, then Thailand is like light years behind. So depends on what area of sex we're talking about, right? I guess when it comes to men satisfying their urges, then Thailand is like, yep, nothing, there's nothing. Yeah, that's completely, there's no taboos around that. But I think when it comes to women taking control over their own lives and stuff, then I think they're behind on that. Talking about sex, not showing women's skin. Yeah, they're not behind on that. But again, when it comes to women having control over their sex lives, I guess they're behind on that.
They have a collaborator or a special friend. But in Thailand, they call things by their name. The official concubine. It's as simple as that. There are even videos on WikiLeaks where you can see a lot. In fact, you can see everything about this king. Of course, on Visual Politic, we're not interested in judging everyone's sex life. As long as he isn't breaking any laws, this man can do whatever he wants.
Well, what if he is the law?
And believe us, he does. Now remember that he's not just a king though. He is also Rama the 10th. Nothing less than a god. You see, during his reign, the previous king, Rama IX, had earned the respect of the Thai people. In such a conservative society, Rama IX represented righteousness and discipline. His son is just the opposite. He's been divorced 3 times, has 4 illegitimate children.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, look at this. You know, this is the position of woman in Thailand. When the highest official woman in the entire country, this is how she has to address the king, on her knees. I mean, this is all fun and games in the bedroom, but in anywhere else, I don't think this should be acceptable. I mean, look at this. This is like, yeesh. Like, look at this. Is this not? This is like, yeah. This is his lover. This is like the highest position. This is like she's like royalty. She's royalty. And she has to address the king on the ground like this. That's like, if. In other words, it's classic Thailand. It is classic Thailand is repressive towards female sexuality. Yes. Yeah, everyone has to prostrate before the king in Thailand, but even the queen like this. I don't know. I mean, I know she's not technically. I don't know. I just get some. This is gross. I mean, there's no woman ever that you have to do this to. So the idea is that the woman's head cannot be looking over the man's head. But nobody like this. Look, this guy over here also has to be like this. Everybody has to be like this, right? But again, it's just the king, though.
And has appointed his
I mean, you would think like, okay, like let's have this rule for everybody, but not my goddamn wife or something, right?
dog as commander of the Air Force. If all of this were not enough, King Rama X does not even live in Thailand. In 2016, he bought a mansion in Bavaria in southern Germany and wants to rule Thailand from there.
This guy, this king of Thailand doesn't really like Thailand that much. He's like, can I just be like a king in Germany? And like, I don't like Thailand. Can I just be like, do my king stuff? Can I just rule over Thailand from outside of Thailand?
In 2016, he bought a mansion in Bavaria in southern Germany and wants to rule Thailand from there.
Oh, Bavaria.
In fact, this is one of his conditions for approving.
We have some crazy people in the live chat. Fazan is saying, Armin Navabi, you are a violence person. You hate Muslim religion. Why? Space, ... No space where we actually needed a space. I think your family love Islam in Iran. Very normal person, Farzan. Very logical, very sane comment. Yes, I do not know how to respond to that because the level of insanity has left me speechless. Hossein is saying, if you're at the level of megalomania, then you aren't gonna treat your wife anything like a wife. Yes, exactly. I feel sick. Some life this guy got. Yes, exactly.
The 2017 constitution. They had to let him reign from Germany. And I know what you're thinking now. What if this king simply doesn't want to reign? I mean, that could be the case. He wants to get away from politics and live his own life. But the reality is quite the opposite.
2 weeks ago, the Thai king issued a royal decree placing 2 army units under his direct control, rather than under the normal military hierarchy. World Politics Review.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rama X is taking steps to restore the absolute monarchy in Thailand. He is gaining more and more control over the army. In the 2019 elections, he banned his sister from running for prime minister. And that's not the worst thing. You see, until 2017, the assets of the Thai royal house were managed by the Crown Property Bureau, an institution controlled by the Ministry of Finance. To give you an idea, these assets comprise something like a sovereign fund, with investments in local companies. For example, the Thai royals are the main shareholders of one of the largest banks in the country, the Siam Commercial Bank. Well, the first thing that Rama X did, as soon as he came to the throne, was to take full control of this office. It is estimated that the institution controls $40 billion that are now solely in the hands of the king. And it doesn't end there. In addition to that, his salary has been raised. From 2021, the Royal Thai House will receive more than $1.1 billion from the government. And all this for ruling from his mansion in Germany.